And maybe once again, if we move it down. Now you have like the end of your drop or something right there. Super cool, super cool. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be doing some live sound design. And as you can tell from the video title, we're going to be covering sustains. So today's going to be more of like a live production stream rather than like a curated video. I'm just going to let you kind of see what making sustains is like in the raw. So you guys can learn maybe all the little tips and tricks, and maybe I do something that you didn't know. So that's going to be the goal for it. For the video, we're going to do 3 different style sustains. I'm going to be using Serum. If you guys like the video, please leave a like, comment below if you learned something new, and feel free to subscribe. We are almost YouTube partners, so that's really cool, and I appreciate that. So let's get into the video. So I just have a Serum patch here. I have a drum beat. Sounds like this. It's really simple. So that's really it. And then we have our synth. So we're going to dive right back into this. And usually when you're doing sustains, you want something that's going to be like simple waveform. So you don't want to do something super complex. And maybe we can find something that's kind of cool here. And see, you wouldn't want something like this. This is just going to be super noisy. This might even be better. And I'm going to FM, because FM sounds really good on sustains. And what am I doing? FM from B. That's actually kind of cool. Maybe we can actually go into this and just morph and crossfade it a little better. And this is all, it's just smoothing it out, and then just normalize each gain separately so it's peaking. What I'm doing here is just trying to find a cool tonality for this. So the higher in FM you go, normally the phasing goes quicker, and lower it goes slower, where that's actually like sounds like one of the eerie ones. Like we might actually just go with that first. So one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a sub into this as well. We're gonna make the traditional sustain ramp. I like to do something like this. An envelope and maybe half or fourth bar, whatever your pleasure is, go with that. Actually, there's a lot of sub-harmonic in it, and we're in F or D right now. And you can see down here, we're just D sharp 1, so me putting it down is putting it in actual sub area. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually cut that out. Maybe we'll use like a high notch or band notch as well. In a high notch. We're going to add the sub in, direct out it. Now we're going to have some fun with this envelope. Or we might even just go with low, honestly. I kind of like the tonality as it is. Or I mean a high pass. So back in. If you didn't know, usually, well not usually, most sustains have some tonality point right here. So if we hold this, you can see that it's peaking at 1.28 kilohertz. So if we're mixing this alongside with chugs, obviously we still have to post-process this and all of this, but we don't need this here. And after, obviously, we distort it more. So just for the sake of explaining this, we'll just crank this. right? And now we go back to our fan. Now we have all this mud. So if we just cut it at like 100 hertz, we're getting all this that we don't need, because it's not going to sound any thinner right here. The tone's going to sound the same. So always when you're EQing your sustains to fit in your mix, just find where they are sitting tonality and just cut below it. So you can cut like, 600, and that still leaves plenty of space if you pitch bend it a little bit as well. So that's just a tip to kind of remember this stuff. Okay, so maybe we can do something with this. We can play with sync. Maybe we turn it back down. Ooh. Love that. You can also play with your semitones. And this could be maybe something as a macro for sync or something. If you want to add some different stuff. I usually like to add a little bit of noise. Everyone has their own go-to. I like chorus because it's a wide stereo noise. And I'll add it in with this ramp here. Obviously, the more we add, the more noisier it gets. So if I drop span here and you look up here, if we do too much, we're not going to be. I like just a little bit. We can even direct out it. But I actually am going to compress it together. So we're going to bring this back to 0. That sounds really cool. And we can even, if you wanted to, you can do more. You can add different, resonances if you want. Turn on the phase or the random as well. Yeah, that sounds cool. All right, so far we have our basis laid out. And now let's just add some more. I kind of like this. Maybe now we can maybe also just add the mix. Distortion. I like a lot of distortion. So we're gonna put that up there. And so far so good. Now we can add some space if we wanted to. So think of that as like a Reese, right? All right, let's compress it because there is a very big peak from this. Lower the threshold just means it's going to grab it at the peak and it's going to fatten it. And also we wanted this to kind of open up as well. We can add that. It's cool. And now we can also have fun. There's so many different things you can do with filters for this one. If you want to go the classic old style, so you can add the ring mod now. It's kind of finicky. Sounds really cool. One thing I like to do when I sound design as well is just put a resampling lane in there. Like, I'm probably not going to keep that, but it's cool. It's kind of phasing, and we can have a lot of fun with this as well. You know, we can play with parameters. So maybe we want to do that over like a bar, right? Where just for now, for the sake of sound design, we're gonna have it like go up slower and then maybe more aggressive. We're gonna put that just on the detune where we'll like that. Now, let's put this over here. No rhyme or reason. Now we can just remove this, put this back right, and maybe just put this back to its original shape as well. We want to use that. So let's keep going though. I kind of like really like this. I wonder if we could do something like this. For the sake of this, I'm going to actually just get rid of the sub because I never have my sub going with my sustains personally. I kind of want that like really emphasis. Maybe we can do some type of fun chorus. Chorus is just adding like a delay. It's adding like multiple signals of itself slightly delayed. We can make this more crazy. Careful with chorus though, because it does stereoize your stuff. And you're gonna phase extremely bad. And you see all that pink there? If we mono this, this is added in my master chain, but for the most part, before, see how it thins out? You don't ever want that. You don't want something so wide that it thins out in the mono signal, because then it's just not going to translate well. We can also add some hyper and dimension. Actually, honestly, just hyper. I don't need dimension, and just a little bit. You can see even just adding that hyper does a lot. So one thing I'll do is I'll go down here. Let's see. It's not even gonna carry it. There's so much width in this already, which is why I think you guys should always just make sure you have span. You can always check this stuff. You can't hear it, you know? So what we can do here, we can actually pull this in. This is not direct out, so this is not going through. Perfect. So now what we can do, which this is still quite wide. Perfect. We can see if we like the EQ. I almost want this. Maybe we can push the midband. Maybe we can actually move this cutoff as well to match. That sounds really cool to me. Like, that's a really good mid bass. We can even... And see how it's like resonating right here? So watch. We pull this way. And now let's just say we let's bring in a sub real quick. I think this is my sub on here. Okay. No worries. That's why we save our sub. Always save your racks. Just drop this down. Make sure that we are actually hitting the... No, we want to D, so we're just gonna actually bring this up to D sharp. Now that's really cool. So I'm just gonna duplicate that because I really like where this is at. We're gonna call this sus1. And I just want to further expand on like what we can do now. So now you have your sustain, right? Now you want it to actually fit in the track. Well, it could just fit in the track how it is, but now we can add more crazy movement. Maybe we want to do more with the sync. Maybe we want to add a phaser over time. We're just gonna have experiment, and there's no right or wrong here because the goal is just to have fun and try new things, right? So maybe, let's see. Let's just have some fun with maybe we can try different things. Maybe we have a delayed and it's super low. We'll do just like a bar. Oh shit, are we? Whoops. I think we were... I don't know what I did here. This is why you always keep the parent one. A prime example. Okay. Let's just add the phaser back real quick. Right down. Depth is around here. Maybe we want to add it. Okay, so we're back here. All right, so 3. Oh, we didn't have anything before. Okay, cool. I don't know what we're doing then. We can maybe have it a bar where it comes in like super late, right? And we can just maybe just... Or even put... Not really a big fan of that, so we're gonna leave it. Now maybe we can do something with coarse and just have it shoot like every bipolar. So shift alt click or whatever command shift click I think is what it is on Mac. We'll make it unipolar. That's bipolar, unipolar. Whoops, envelope. That sounds really cool. And maybe we can mess with the position. Now this table is very sensitive, so it's gonna be hard to kind of do something like this, in my opinion, but we will try. Too fast. Apologize. Obviously, there's still a lot of fuzz. Now, we could go in and post-process this, more compression, EQing it. But for the most part, that's a solid first like midtone. And let's kind of go back to this first one real quick and just kind of show you what I would probably do. I'm probably gonna add a little bit of OTT before the EQ. And you can just see the power of OTT here where this is really peaking and we don't really want that. I'm cool with actually that amount. And one thing I'm going to do as well is add multi-band compression. And I'm also going to add saturation. And then we're going to add another EQ. I know we're adding in a lot right now, but I'll explain kind of why we're doing this whole process. So this is our highest peaking element. So for me, I'm going to lower this a little bit. I'm also going to lower this really harsh area, which I'll solo for you guys real quick. A little sharp. Is that right there? We're just going to lower that a little bit. Because I'm going to drive this now. Without that. It cleans it up. And we're adding distortion. We're adding usually odd harmonics to it. You don't really have to understand it, but the more you blow out stuff, the harsher it's going to get and less atonal. So I'm controlling what's going to hit 0 first and what's sensitive to the listeners, which is going to be more high end when I'm doing this. And now we can actually dial in our multi-band. Once again, let me pull up span so you guys can see what multi-band is actually doing for this. Which isn't much. So for me, I want to boost this up to like 2 and have a little heavier down. And you can see over here when I bring it down super heavy, that sounds really good to me. And once again, we're just cleaning it up. It sounds really cool. Now we can see if pitch bend works with this. It doesn't seem like it's going to work really well, but one thing I want to do is I just want to finish off these macro knobs. I'm going to make a rack, and then I'm going to actually macro this rack. So you have something to use right away whenever you want to use your project or drop it into a project. So we're going to mess with FM because I think it's the best way to go about it. We're going to put it on uni, which means we need to put this at 50%. If we don't, brings it down. We're going to call this, FMB. So we're going to do that. I'm not really a big fan distortion. Now that we have so much OTT, distortion doesn't really do anything. So what we can do is I want to remove that. This is going to this. Which is really cool. Another thing you can always do as well is don't forget that you can always attach note to your and it will play in the note key. It knows it's in D sharp 1, so that's what it's targeting. So if you're playing different sustained notes, say it's going bump, womp, bump, womp, or something, the note tracker will help with that. So we're going to not really mess with any of this. We have cutoff, which Sounds really cool. I like the sync. Let's play with our filter now, because ring mod is really fun. So maybe we can mess with the cutoff here. I don't know what we're actually gonna do. We're gonna mess around. Ring mod. So we could call ring mod for ooh. That sounds tight. I love that. So ring mod ver is gonna stay sync. We have FM, which is serving its purpose right in the middle. 50% start. And now we have one more macro we can play with. So right now it's doing that, but maybe I don't want that. Maybe I want to play with the resonance. Probably not, but we'll see. Maybe it's on both. Maybe this is just like a really scream filter. I don't like how... I don't like the whoop. I'm not really a fan of that, so maybe we'll just move on. Maybe we just won't play with that at all, and we'll choose something else. Maybe in our effects once again. We can have fun, and probably a good one is this EQ to play with. We go down. Maybe we don't. I'm not really finding anything interesting in that for me personally. So maybe we can even add what we can either do is add it to this, or maybe in the chorus, which I think is gonna give it more tonality. So let's add a chorus and just say chorus max or chorus width. So just to show you guys once again, we're pretty phasey there, right? I'm going to keep it right below so we have tighter. So what we could use this for is if our chugs are more mono and this is kind of competing in mono space, we can push it wider. If our chugs more wider, we can make this more mono. It works really well. So say I'm really happy with this. This is our sus, and we're just going to group it all together. Just Control G, Command G on Mac. And I'm going to start making macros for this because that would be something nice. So one thing I want to do is we're gonna do this last EQ, this to macro 5, and we're gonna call this final low pass. And then what we can do as well, let's just get all these labeled first. So what we can configure is sync. We're just gonna click on all these, and once we configured them, that's cool. Now we're gonna put sync to macro 1. We're gonna put ring mod to macro 2, chorus to macro 3, and FM 50 start macro 4. And let's make it something colorful. I don't know. Ring mod chorus. I always like blue for chorus. I don't know why. FM, I don't know, that's red. And then final low pass can be like white or something. Cool. That's cool. One extra thing we can do is now we can actually tame these bands here. Or what we can do as well is we can put once again, the end of our chain, we're going to put a saturator just to soft clip everything. And I like digital clip. It's the most aggressive form, rounds it off. And we can even, I guess, if we wanted to, we could put this to macro 6 and final drive digital clip drive. And boom, now we have ourselves a really cool sustain. And don't forget to name it. We're going to call this Wheysted 2023 Midboy. And I have my Wheystains or sense, so we'll add it to the Wheystains that I've been doing here. And boom, we have our mid. So that's one, right? And probably for these next ones, I'm not going to go through the whole grouping and putting it in a rack because you guys already saw it the first time. So let's do something a little more fun. I'm thinking more of like a sign, and maybe we'll do 3 signs or even a square or something. I'm not sure yet, but we're gonna F around and find out because that's how you have fun. And that's we're gonna FM from B. And then we're gonna FM from sub. Pretty much the sub is going into the square wave. Square wave is being FM'd and controlled by this sine wave, and now that's all FMing into this as a final product. This all should be turned down. Get rid of the random. That's kind of cool, actually. Well, let's go now. Wait, where was that? Cool. Let's add some distortion. Let's get rid of that low end. And we can see where we're sitting once again. Whoops. We're very mono compatible, so that's good. We can add voicing, which could mess with the phase rate. That's really fun. Now maybe we can play with the course pitch or something. Let's also let's just set up our sustain. Once again, I like to do just half beat levels at the beginning because we can always change it later. Usually allows like the side chain or the hit, and then you can also try different waves. I don't know if you can actually control the phase start because you can hear it's changing, but all these phases are set to 0. So that sounds really cool, actually. And if you wanted to, one thing you can always do is it's a dual tonality there. You can hear the different octaves of it. You can always cut out that one. So you just want the higher one. Once again, we don't need any mud. And we can even play more fun here and actually cut off the high end. I don't know if it's going to work, how much it moves, but downsampling works really well once you've cut out high end. As you can see, once we cut out the high end, but you downsample it, comes right back in. You can also pre it. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna go that route though, so that's not really a big deal right now. Well, maybe we'll just stick to even mix squaring off it. I actually like no distortion, which is a rarity. We'll see about compressing, but compressing with this is gonna be kind of... Oh, it actually came out extremely clean. Sometimes it'll smash it, and doesn't sound as good. Cool thing with these style, like I'll call them like ringtone sustains, that you can do a lot of... So you can get really cool phasing that sounds like super tonal as well. So that will definitely be, we'll put that on my macro as well, my rack. It'll be separate. It'll be like probably these four and then that. So I can just pitch it when I want. So going from there, you can try flange, but flange is going to be kind of tough. Maybe we can attach it to note. I'm not really sold on that. We'll keep it there for now. And we really don't need to do too much to this one as well. Once again, we tried flanger, but we can honestly just count this as flange stereo. There's our first one. And maybe we can also just have a... And why is it like that there? That's cool. Yeah, so now we have... The one thing you can do with these as well is you can actually play with the actual start note. I just moved it down to the sub. So if you want to do something like once again, because that's cool, let's do both of those. And vice versa. And I'll just save those as just samples down the road, so I can just use that if I wanted to. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty simple. I call it like the ringtone. Now you can always just play with different things here. We can mess with this. Very sensitive, by the way. So oh, I was like, why isn't we are in the wrong octave? That doesn't sound cool, so we're gonna get rid of that. Maybe try this. Primo mode. I don't know. And maybe once again, if we move it down. Now you have like the end of your drop or something right there. Super cool, super cool. Yeah, really, really fun there. There's not too much we can really mess with here. We can still try to add something at the end if we wanted to. Formants are interesting. I don't think it's going to work, but we always want to try. I think the best option here might even be... I think this is going to work at all. No, not at all. This... Fuzzy. Comb, resonant, comb with res. With, maybe I should write that right. And maybe we can even move the cutoff of the combs. You can hear the low end here. So I'm talking about the low end fuzz. Once again, we'll touch base on it. Like, you don't need all that mud. No. Sounds super clean. And with sub, sounds really cool, right? Yeah, we'll still keep those. I like this other version better, but this is really cool. We'll call this ringy sus. And last one, let's do like the ear style. This would be usually like more pushback, more experimental dubstep. It's not going to be as dense and thick in the mid. It's going to be very high end, and we're probably going to do this with just saws. But we'll see. So once again, FM. Let's use sync this time, and let's crank this one up, and let's add some detune here. And let's play the... Once again, just generic starting point. You can always change your sustains, but I like to just start this way, and I can always go in. I'm sorry, this is kind of high pitched. just instantly just cut out the low end because we don't need that. We're gonna need some compression here. Sounds really thin right now, right? Distortion doesn't really help. So what can we do? A couple things. Let's just bring this back down and is this down? What is going on here? That's what it was. Okay. Very, very buggy. We can maybe. Hear that fuzz though, right? We don't like any of that. So for me, what I'm going to personally do is go in and close out this low end. See all this? And now we can tame the highs how we want. For me, let's just... it's very harsh. So we're gonna just reverb won't work, but it's a cool thought process. Maybe put a little bit too off. Very harsh. Let's go in and once again, downsampling, it's really good if you do like a pre before. It just kind of gives me like thoughts, like what happens if you just keep ring modding this? And you just have some fun noise. Yeah, anyways, we'll get rid of that for now. But so what we can even do as well is let's go into just another, maybe we can find some simple wavetables. Are we still in, I was like, why isn't this changing? There, I was like, it should be way noisier. This looks almost like I Can Has Kick. Also, it is so important to know that most of the sound is coming from your table and not all the post-processing after it. You want a good foundation, and the post-processing can carry a good foundation. See, as you add more harmonics, it gets noisier and very high pitched. Not a big fan of that. Asim, we can maybe just. Also, a really cool thing is Sign Shaper is super powerful adding high harmonics. So if you have a really mid level sustain, adds really nice high, and so does Linefold is super sensitive. So you can get blown out so quick. Sorry, sidetracked. Let's go for. Half the time it's just finding a good wavetable. This could be. Huh? Didn't really go into anything. Too noisy. That's just so choppy. Just too many harmonics. Even, I mean, honestly, you could go like, whoops. Like it's so. What I'm trying to show you guys is like the wavetable has so much power rather than all the other processing that goes into it. Obviously, that matters afterwards, but like just having a good basis and know where to start is super important. And you'll just get used to knowing like, okay. Yeah, like, can we have fun, do something with this? Oh, there's so many different options. So let's just continue on a path. Let's go to like some that you guys probably have and you can like replicate if you wanted to. Kind of noisy, so we're probably gonna pull that high and down. And let's put a all pass is really fun as well. Going to my thing is it sounds like the stereo is like quite wide. So once again, that sounds better now. But for a second there, it sounded like when I was changing the all pass. So let's just shape this up and call it good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna peak this actually. Whee! Maybe we can slide it to the higher part. Get to 100. Really close. You see how much that actually just crushes that brightness, and we really give it a tonality. Let's see if we can do maybe actually tube distortion with this. That sounds cool to me. Once again, we can add this row delay. I'll say that is the cutoff there. So now we're going to use this as the opposite way. Let's just chorus width, because you know I always like to have a quick switch if I need to make something more stereo, more mono. Just click and switch. We can shoot. Let's make it robotic. Let's do like a 64th and something like that. Let's see if that works. Just get rid of that. We'll just link them. We'll leave it no filter. Slight delay. It's like making it more robotic in a way. You can tell. So we have that. Now maybe we can play with the all pass as well. So what we're going to do is and we now have our third sustain. So we kind of went down a rabbit hole of fun there, and now we will save these and boom, you're done. So hope you guys learned, had some fun, and maybe we're going to try something new with your own sustains and have a lot of fun with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you again in the next one. Peace.
VIP. Let's do this.